Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits. In the recent times I have made a video on the year 2025 annual predictions for all ascendants, one of the most detailed and unique videos that you will find. It is available on my channel. Very recently I also made a video about Venus or Shukra, and I have shared some very deep secrets, some very untold concepts, and how to understand and how to read Venus in your chart, and some of the most important significations related to the planet of interaction, the planet of love. And today this video is about Venus's upcoming transit in the sign of Pisces, one of the most exciting and most awaited transit that Venus is moving in its exaltation sign on 28th of January, and this is a long transit this year. It's a unique scenario, it's a unique phenomena. Now before we move forward, let me share with you a golden astrological tip of the day, and this is related to Venus. Venus is the significator of relationships. So we light a lamp early in the morning when we do our prayers. Why do we light a lamp, and what is the signification, and how does lighting a lamp in a particular way supports and fosters our relationship? So this is very specifically for those people who have relationship issues, who are trying to fix their relationship in the year 2024. The major number of consultations that I have done have been around relationships. So this tip is very useful, very important for those people. So we light a lamp using a ghee or an oil. It could be either a sesame oil or a mustard oil or desi ghee. Now there is a very important signification in terms of how to light a lamp and how do you manage your lamp. So lighting a lamp is equal to burning your karmas. Now first thing that you must do is to ensure that you clean your lamp as well. Cleaning your lamp is equal to cleansing your karmas. Lighting a lamp is equal to burning your karmas, and if you do that all by yourself, this is in a way that you're able to keep your good karmas to yourself. Do it yourself, clean it yourself, light it yourself while doing the prayers. Now we use a wick when we have to light a lamp. So this is where the important point comes across. So we must use two wicks when we have to work towards our relationship. And the ideal approach is to take a little bit of ghee or oil, whatever you use in your hand, and try to join these wicks. So you need to join these wicks using the ghee. So this two would become one, and this is how you would now put it in your lamp and light the lamp. This is a very simple tip and a remedy if you were to solve your relationship issues. If you were to fulfill your relationship karma, you're burning your karmas, you're cleansing your karmas, and at the same time you're trying to keep all the good karmas to yourself and carry it forward. It's only once in a few years that we get to see Venus staying for a long period of time in the sign of Pisces, which is its exaltation sign. And here Venus is going to stay for nearly 4 months. It will change signs on 31st of May. So during this transit, of course, Venus is going to go retrograde and then it will move forward again. So it's spending a considerable amount of time in Pisces, and during this transit, Venus will come in contact with different grahas. It will be conjoined with Rahu, with Saturn, with Sun, with Mercury. We're also going to witness all of these planets in the sign of Pisces in April. And during this major conjunction, Venus is going to be the most dominant planet because it is in its exaltation sign. So it holds the greatest dignity, it holds a greater say, and therefore we need not be very much worried about what's happening towards the end of April. And considering the fact that Jupiter is not involved in this conjunction, and Jupiter is associated to Jiva, there are a lot of myths, there are a lot of stories going around, there are a lot of talks going around which are all nonsense talks in terms of what's going to happen towards the end of April and onwards. So we need not be worried about anything because Jiva is associated to Jupiter. So if we were to predict any major loss of life, Jupiter should be involved, or there should be some sort of affliction where multiple planets are involved and Jupiter plays a role as well. So this was putting a rest to what's being said. I will of course make a detailed video talking about some global events that we can expect and how can we make the most of this major conjunction that's going to happen in the month of April. But today it's about Venus and its upcoming transit in the sign of Pisces. Some important dates: 28th of January, Venus is going to enter Pisces. It will move out of Pisces on 31st of May. So nearly 4 months it is in its exaltation sign in deep great dignity. During this time, Venus will also be in a Parivartana yoga with Jupiter. There is a very powerful exchange that is happening between the natural second house lord and the natural 12th house lord. So it's a 2-12 Parivartana. So this Venus is behaving as if it is a Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. So this Parivartana yoga holds a great significance for us. From a transit point of view, it is extremely powerful, and the natural sign of Aries throughout this time is under Shubha Yoga. So when the natural sign of Aries is under Shubha Yoga, which means there is Jupiter in Taurus, there is Venus in the sign of Pisces. These are the two most benefic planets. The sign of Aries is under Shubha Yoga or the auspicious yoga because there are benefits on both sides. Aries is the natural significator of the soul, yourself, our body, our vitality, our immunity. So I do not see any major event, catastrophe or something happening around this world for the next few months at least. So Venus is going to go retrograde on 2nd of March and it is going to stay retrograde for 43 days. So these 43 days could be a little bit challenging from a relationship point of view, because when an exalted planet goes retrograde, it behaves as if it's in a debilitated state. So somewhere the significations are going to go lost. So during the month of March, early April is a particular time that we have to be a little bit careful of. I'll make a separate video in terms of how to navigate through that particular situation. And then on 13th of April, Venus will go direct in the sign of Pisces. Till 31st of May, it is going to stay there in its exaltation state. Venus is the natural second house lord and the natural 7th house lord, making a transit in the natural 12th house of devotion, of losses, of expenditure, the natural ruler of your family, wealth, partnership, spouse. Venus plays a very important role in all of these matters in our interaction with the world. I have made a very detailed video on Venus. You must check that out. This is the epitome of devotion, this particular transit where Venus makes a transit in the 12th house. The natural 12th house represents our feet. It is the feet of Lord Vishnu. So an ultimate amazing time to worship Lord Vishnu, seek his blessings, and at the same time worship Lakshmi as well. And this is the reason why Venus gets exalted in the sign of Pisces, because this represents Lord Vishnu's feet. During this time, Venus is going to be aspecting the sign of Virgo by its 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires you to fix your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, how to overcome competition, and bringing a sense of interaction in anything and everything that you do on a daily basis. Now let's talk about how Venus's transit in the sign of Pisces is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, you must read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, you can also read this from your moon sign. For now, I'm only going to talk about Venus's direct transit from 28th of January till 2nd of March and how it is going to have an impact on you. Let's begin with Aries ascendants. For Aries ascendants, Venus becomes the ruler of your 2nd house and the ruler of your 7th house, the ruler of your family, your accumulation, which includes your wealth as well, what you eat, what you consume, how you store what you have, your assets, your information, your wealth, your food, and everything that you store for yourself and for your family. Venus also rules marriage, relationship, partnership, harmony. 7th house is also the Jaya Bhava. So Venus for you rules peace and also war. All those people who are opposite to you. This Venus is making a transit in your 12th house. 12th house of losses, expenditure, your higher self-consciousness, the house of devotion, the house of your feet, and also your bed comforts, your sleep. Venus is in its exalted state and it's in a parivartana or an exchange with your 9th or the 12th lord Jupiter. And this is a powerful parivartana yoga. This is a powerful exchange yoga which is giving you a very high capability from a devotion point of view. So you are going to be devoted for the next few months. You are going to seek some blessings, you're going to do some prayers, and it is an excellent time to manifest something that you want in your life through your prayers. So from a spiritual point of view, if you were to practice spiritual sadhana, if you were to get some blessings, your spouse is also going to become very spiritual over the next few weeks. So in case you're married, in case you're in a relationship, you can together pursue some of your spiritual goals as well. Of course, in the world that we live in, we do face a problem in terms of balancing our material life as well as the spiritual life. See, there is no harm in enjoying material comforts. There is no harm for people to travel business class. There is no harm for people to have accessories. There is no harm for people to look good. These are some of the good qualities of Venus. But at the same time, little bit of giving a little bit of donation is also good at the same time that you can do to the best of your capacity. This is going to improve your relationship, this is going to improve your family life and also your financial matters around this time. But this is where we also struggle a bit from a spiritual point of view, but try to have a sense of balance in terms of how you can. This Venus is going to be aspecting your 6th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So Venus during this transit desires you to bring a sense of interaction in your daily life, in your day-to-day routine, at job or with those people who are opposite to you, those people who you work with during your job. You have to be very much presentable. So you would be very conscious of the steps that you take, how you appear in front of others, how you present yourself, your thoughts, your ideas, that is going to matter. So you're going to bring in a sense of eloquence, you're going to bring in a sense of influence in your interaction on a day-to-day basis. You are also likely to face some competition, some sort of opposition during this time. Worship Goddess Lakshmi or worship Lord Vishnu during this time. This could be absolutely beneficial for you because this Venus represents as if it's in the feet of Vishnu, it's in its exalted state, in its delightful state. And this period is going to make you very spiritual. You're also likely to undergo some change in your eating habits, in your dietary requirements. So make a conscious step towards it. Don't let the situation force you into something, but you have to take things in your own hands as far as your lifestyle is concerned, as far as your eating habits. And I wish you the very best for this exalted transit of Venus. Let us now talk about Taurus ascendants. For Taurus ascendants, Venus is your Lagna Lord or Lord of the Ascendant, and Venus also becomes the 6th house ruler. So it's more of a neutral planet. Besides being the Lagnesha, it is also one of the neutral planets for Taurus ascendants, not the primary Yoga Karaka, because Yoga Karaka here becomes Shani or Saturn. Venus is Lord of Lagna, Lord of yourself, your overall body, your vitality, your immunity, your intelligence, because intelligence sits in the Lagna, the ascendant. Your firepower sits in the Lagna. And Venus also rules your 6th house. We also see intelligence from the 6th house. It's a very different kind of intelligence. That kind of things or those kind of things which other people find very hard to interpret or understand. It's supreme intelligence. It also represents deaths, diseases, competition, those people who are opposite to you, very strong opposition, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your daily routine. This Venus is making a transit in the 11th house in its exalted state in the sign of Pisces. This is the most delightful state that Venus can be in. And this time period, Venus is also in a Parivartana Yoga or an exchange with Jupiter, because Jupiter is making a transit in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So this is a very powerful Dhan Yoga which is there in place, because the wisdom of Jupiter is making a transit in your ascendant itself. It will go direct very soon, mid of February, and Venus is now making a transit in the 11th house. So there is naturally Dhan Yoga in transit. In case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive over the next few weeks, you could have a situation or scenario to improve your finances, to improve your income, or create a secondary source of income for those people who are looking forward to having an increment, incentive, some sort of rise in their pay, wages or salary. This could be quite possible in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, or you should look towards other ventures that you've been planning for and try to step into those ventures which can give you some sort of financial gains. This Venus does very well in the 11th house. I have said it many times, any planet placed in the 11th house or making a transit in the 11th house is most likely to do good from a material point of view. You will have lots of planets in your 11th house over the next few weeks. So of course, there's a lot that is happening in terms of gains. There's a lot that is happening in terms of your own efforts. There will be obstruction, there will be competition, because this is also the natural Badak Stan. This is a Badak house for you, but Venus's transit is supportive. You will be able to overcome that competition. You will be able to overcome other people. So you have to also be a little bit careful, especially with those who you know over the next few weeks, because you could have a chance of betrayal, or the trust factor could be of test during this time. So this is something which you have to be careful of. This Venus is aspecting your 5th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires you to do a lot of future planning, bring in a sense of interaction. And of course, love interest would be on a higher side because your 5-11 axis is pretty active. So those people who are looking forward to getting into a new relationship or maintaining your current relationship or building certain ties and trying to establish a connect, this time period has some karmic repercussions towards your love interest and towards your friends. So this is going to be a testing time for you, but you must plan for your future. This house, the fifth house, also represents progress. So Venus desires you to make some progress, take some corrective steps, because Venus is also going to go retrograde at a later point in time. So you have to take some calculative decisions pertaining to your job, pertaining to your profession, and this is something which you can also think through during this time. Mantras are going to be extremely supportive. You can use a simple Lakshmi mantra, which is Om Lakshmi Namah. One thing that you have to be mindful of is any kind of overindulgence, any kind of extravagance. You have to be very careful of it. Otherwise, it could have health repercussions. So your health should be your number one priority over the next few weeks. And I wish you the very best for this. Now let us talk about Gemini Ascendants and what's happening with Gemini Ascendants. As far as Venus's transit in the sign of Pisces is concerned, Venus is going exalted from 28th of January till 31st of May. It will also go retrograde. And of course, I have shared the important dates in the beginning of the video along with a golden astrological tip for you. Venus for Gemini is the only Yoga Karaka or the most favorable planet because it's the fifth lord, and I've always maintained this thing that fifth lord is the most important planet for any ascendant because it rules your future, it rules your children, your unconditional love, it rules all the past life deeds, your present karmas, and of course manifestation of the future, which is most important for individuals. It rules progress. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas, or we see kingdom, from the fifth house. This house also represents mantras. So we see mantras from this house. Whether this will be successful for you, whether this will work for you or not, is seen very much from the fifth house and the fifth lord's placement. Venus is making a transit in the 10th house. Venus is also your 12th lord of losses, expenditure, your capability towards devotion and spiritual pursuits or spiritual activities, your higher self-consciousness. Venus is now coming in your 10th house. Venus is also one of the significators or karakas of the 10th house. It represents your interaction with your colleagues at your workplace and how you build credible relationships as far as job matters, business or professional matters are concerned. Venus in the 10th house does very well. Most planets do well in this house, especially those who are the significators of this house. 5th house is the Rajya Bhava, 10th house is the Rajya Bhava, so it is definitely making a yoga in transit, and this yoga is going to last for a considerable longer period of time. So to make important career decisions, career moves, career switch, new opportunity, some change, some progress related to your job, related to your work, profession is inevitable during this time. So it is time for you to start making a decision, something that you've been wanting to do since a long period of time. Maybe this is the opportunity in case your dasha antardasha is supportive. You will also be likely to have a sense of balance between your personal and your professional life because your 4 and 10 axis is pretty active during this time. Venus is aspecting your 4th house by its 7th aspect of desire. It wants you to focus a lot on your mindfulness, on your spiritual practices, yoga, sadhana, and trying to create a sense of balance between your work life, your family, your personal life. So make sure that you take a lot of time for yourself. Self-care is going to be your number one priority over the next few weeks. But this is going to help you be more productive. This is going to help you take some of the very good decisions and some of those things which you haven't done in the past. So workplace related progress, change is quite good for you. So in case you've been trying to change your job, start a new line of work, this could be your time in case your dasha antardasha is supportive. Mantras are going to work. If these mantras are related to bringing improvement in your job or work scenario or help you get some new opportunities, this could be absolutely helpful. Make sure that you take advice of your mother. Make sure that you use this opportunity to build credible relationships, long-lasting relationships with those people who you work. So you have to be a lot more interactive. You'll be able to influence other people. So this time you must spend or invest in your own personal branding. This is the time for you to create a brand of yourself because this is an opportunity which will not come for the next few years. Venus is not going to have a long transit in the sign of Pisces, and this is where you have to maximize for this opportunity. Worship Goddess Lakshmi or worship Lord Vishnu to remove any ill effects, and there are going to be multiple planets in your 10th house. So workplace related decision, new projects, new opportunities are coming your way, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Cancer Ascendants and what's happening with Cancer Ascendants. As far as Venus's transit in the sign of Pisces is, Venus is going to be exalted in the sign of Pisces on 28th of January, and it is going to stay there till the end of May. This is a long transit of Venus. Venus is your 4th lord and your 11th lord. So it holds more of a neutral position for Cancer Ascendants. It rules your Sukha Bhava. 4th house is a very important house because it represents protection. It represents your safe or comfortable space, which is your home, your homeland, your mother. This is the house of compassion. Venus also represents compassion. It represents love, affection, abundance, your interaction. Venus is also your 11th lord, the lord of gains, your wider social network, your friends, also your enemies, those people who are opposite. Very strong opposition is also seen from the 11th house because this house is 6th from your 6th house. From a material point of view, Venus plays a very important role. From your mindfulness point of view, it plays a very important role. This Venus is making a transit in your 9th house. Being a natural benefic, Venus tends to do very well in the 9th house. This is the house of Bhagya, your dharma, fortune. So your dharma is going to be under test over the next few months. This is your priority area for the next 3 to 4 months. You have to protect your dharma. You have to be the advocate of your dharma. You have to take necessary steps in order to ensure that you stick to the path of righteousness. And this is the testing time for you. Your 3-9 axis is going to be pretty active because this Venus is going to be aspecting your 3rd house by the 7th aspect of desire. So this period indicates starting of a journey. So you could go on travel. It could be either short journeys or you could also go on a long distance journey. So next few months could be very good or perfect time to go on a spiritual retreat. So visit a shrine or a temple or any place of worship based on what you believe, and this could be absolutely beneficial for you. You must also get a Guru Upadesha, blessings from your mentor, your teacher, your guide, or it could also be your parents, either your father or mother during this time, and this could be absolutely beneficial for you. See, Venus does well in the 9th house. It's your 4th lord, lord of happiness, making a transit in the 9th house. So what will bring happiness to you? Happiness to you would come from higher education. So if you learn something, Venus is the ruler of all kinds of mundane knowledge. So it plays a very important role in corporate world because the more you learn and upskill yourself, higher are your chances for growth. And this is all the more important in the current time, in the current age. So you must learn something. This is a very good time to upskill yourself, go for higher education and those kind of skills, knowledge which are very useful for your work, for your job, and this is something which you have to be mindful of. Venus is aspecting the 3rd house, so it desires you to focus a lot on your communication. Change is inevitable. Starting a journey doesn't necessarily mean that you will travel. You could start something new as well. Start journaling. See, Venus is Shukra, which means gratitude. So write about gratitude. Journal about gratitude and manifestation, and this could be absolutely beneficial for you. And 3rd house also represents our hands, our arms, primarily our right hand, or of course our most dominant hand that we use to write. So this is an ultimate remedy for you. Do any things that are related to your hands, and if it is creative, if it is something related to arts or performing arts or creative pursuits, this could be absolutely beneficial for you. It will bring in a lot of peace of mind. It will help you solve a lot of things in your life, and I wish you the very best for this transit. Now let us talk about Leo Ascendants. For Leo Ascendants, Venus becomes the 3rd house ruler and the 10th house ruler. It is a neutral planet, but it's an important planet because it rules your 10th house of profession, your karma, your actions in the society, what you do in order to survive, sustain in this world. Your workplace is seen from the 10th house. Venus also rules your 3rd house of valor, your courage, change, and those things that you do from a communication point of view, because this house represents communication, your co-borns, your siblings, primarily younger siblings. This Venus is making a transit in the 8th house of longevity, of transformation, deep dark places are seen from the 8th house. We see occult, hidden subjects, those kind of sciences or things that involve a lot of research, places that are across the sea, unknown hidden places. Since this is the house of longevity, Venus holds the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani by the blessings of Lord Shiva. Therefore, Venus does well in the 8th house. Also, it is a natural benefic. Benefics still do okay in the 8th house. It doesn't do any harm. But expect sudden changes in your life over the next few months. Whether this will be good for you or not so good depends on your ongoing Dasha Antardasha. But this time period is really going to transform you. What kind of transformation you could expect? Change is inevitable because third lord, which rules your change, is coming in the 8th house. This is also a Viparita Yoga in transit. Situations, circumstances could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise. You will rise with flying colors. Okay, this is something which you must remember. Trust your instincts, trust yourself during this time. This is most important for you. Change is inevitable. There could be workplace related change as well because it's your 10th lord as well, making a transit in the 8th house. So expect a new project. The time period could be a little bit uncomfortable initially, but eventually it will work very well for you. So remember that Venus is involved in a Parivartana Yoga with Jupiter. This Jupiter is already making a good transit in the sign of Taurus for you. And this is the time when you have to, of course, take some very important decisions pertaining to your workplace. So a remedy for you would be Jupiter. Worship Lord Shiva or use mantras related to Jupiter. You can use a simple Guru mantra, that is Om Guruve Namah, during this time to gain the most out of it and to try and channelize this Venus appropriately. There will be a lot of planets in your 8th house. So transformation is inevitable. A sense of uncertainty could be inevitable, but this change is for good. Any change or transformation is for the greater good. It comes with a little bit pain, it comes with a little bit suffering, but eventually it makes us strong. Venus is aspecting your 2nd house by its 7th aspect of desire. So I would definitely expect your finances to improve, your finances to rise. There will be multiple planets aspecting your 2nd house with a 7th aspect of desire. So during this time, later part of this transit, you will have opportunities to have an increase in your income or create a new source of income. Your focus should also be a lot towards family, spending time with your family, spending quality time, and how you could maximize around this situation. You are likely to undergo any change in your dietary requirement. So make sure that you have a balanced diet. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink enough water in the day so that you could keep yourself hydrated. From a financial point of view, you also need some sort of management. So try and save money. Try and invest wisely. Avoid any major decisions pertaining to your existing investments or your future investments for the next few weeks. After that, things could be very much better, but this will also depend primarily on your Dasha Antardasha and the kind of role it is playing. Make sure that you go for a balanced, healthy diet. You're likely to undergo a change and try to keep this change in your own hands. Transformation is coming to you and is coming to you for good, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Virgo Ascendants and what's happening with Virgo Ascendants as far as Venus is transit in the sign of Pisces as it goes exalted on 28th of January. This is a long transit, so exciting times ahead for many people. We must cherish this time period and be grateful of this time period. Venus is your 2nd lord and the 9th lord. So for all financial matters, family matters, fortune matters, Venus plays a very important role. It is a Karaka Graha. It rules your family, your finances, your wealth, because this is the Dhan Bhava, what you own, what you store, your food, what you consume, your speech. All of that is what Venus rules. Fulfillment of your Lagna, fulfillment of yourself is seen from the 2nd house. Venus is also your 9th lord, lord of fortune, Bhagya. Higher education, higher learning, your dharma, long distance journeys, travel opportunities are also seen from the 9th house. This Venus is making a transit in the 7th house. 7th house, Venus is the Karaka or significator of the 7th house. So it is a very good placement. So there are two planets, Jupiter and Venus, who are the Karakas and the owners of that particular house as well. So Jupiter is the significator of the 9th house and the natural ruler of the 9th house. Similarly, Venus, which is Daitya Guru, is the significator of the 7th house and the natural ruler of the 7th house as well, which is the sign of Libra. But here it is the Karaka of the 7th house, and being placed here, it is in pretty good dignity and it's in exalted state. 7th house for you is also the Badak Stan. So momentarily for the next 4-5 months, Venus will try and support, remove obstacles or help you counter obstacles and support you in good decision making. Maybe you might have made some terrible decisions, some good bad decisions in the past. So retrograde time period could be a time for you to look back at some of your decisions that you've made and take corrective steps. But the first few weeks, your decision making is going to be very supportive. Your spouse or partner could play a supportive role here and can go out of the way to help you. Even friends can be very supportive. Those people who you know, your relatives and others, whoever is opposite to you would step in to support you for greater good. And in return, you are also likely to support them. Now, this Venus is aspecting your first house by its seventh aspect of desire. So there is definitely relationship matters are going to improve, are going to foster during this time. But you are going to evolve your personality. You are going to come out in a very strong manner. You are going to take some very important decisions pertaining to your life over the next few weeks. This could be starting a new line of work. This could be thinking about making a plan for doing something for your future and how you can manage your finances. So this time period calls for better financial management and also focus a lot in terms of your bhagya, because your ninth lord is coming in the seventh house. This is definitely forming a yoga. For your partner or your spouse, this could be a particularly favorable time from a wealth point of view. They could see some sort of rise in their wealth. For those people who are looking forward to getting married or establishing a new relationship or trying to strengthen their current relationship, this is quite an excellent time for you to take these decisions. This is an excellent time for you to improve and focus a lot on your relationship and try to influence those people who are opposite to you. These people could be at your workplace, could be your business partners, could be your spouse, and all of those people in your life. You have an opportunity to build your network, create your own brand. So focus a lot on your own branding, because you'll be very conscious of what you wear, how do you appear, and how do you present yourself in front of other people. And if you're conscious about it, you will have some sort of effectiveness in your communication, in the way you interact with people. And this is likely to work in your favor to help you excel in anything that you do. And I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Libra ascendants. For Libra ascendants, Venus is an important planet because it's your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant. It is also your 8th Lord. So Venus rules yourself, your overall body, your vitality, your immunity, and who you are, your intelligence, your decision-making capability. This is the house which represents pure Agni or fire in your life, and the kind of decisions that you take, your intelligence, your knowledge, and everything pertaining to your life, your body, your vitality. Venus is also the 8th Lord, the Lord of longevity. Transformation is seen from the 8th house, occult, those subjects which involve a lot of research, hidden places, all kinds of secret desires, that is included as well, is seen from the 8th house. This Venus is making a transit in the 6th house. So there are two aspects of this transit. Firstly, Venus is considered to be Maran Karaka, or it is a death-like situation in the 6th house. So from that point of view, it is somehow losing its signification. Thankfully, Venus is in the sign of Pisces, which is its exalted sign, its most delightful state. So it is somewhere supporting you in terms of its significations. This is also a Viparita Yoga in transit, because your 8th Lord is making a transit in the 6th house. Circumstances could go adverse for you from a relationship point of view, from your self-confidence point of view. You could be at a low. Eventually you will rise. You will build a lot of resilience and perseverance during this time, which is going to have a good long-lasting impact in your life. And this will help you take some very good decisions pertaining to your future. So there are two things. One is Maran Karak. Of course, it will make you put in a lot more efforts for yourself in order to surpass competition, in order to deal with obstacles and fix the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, because 6th house represents your daily life, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. So from a learning point of view, it is good transit, because this is Venus is forming a Dhimanta Yoga. Your first Lord is in the 6th house. You are likely to develop intelligence. So it's a good time for you to learn something new that could help you in your job related matters. This period could bring in a job change if you put in efforts towards it. You would likely to put 4 or 5 times more effort. This is something which will be expected from you, and this is something which you should not shy away from. So you'll have to put in a little bit more efforts. Try to fix or solve your daily life. Cleansing is very important. Decluttering is very important in your life. maybe you need to change your habits now. It's about time for you. Some things that you want to stop, some good things that you want to start. This is the time to take some corrective steps. This Venus is aspecting your 12th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires you to be more spiritual. Venus desires you to help those who need. Work towards women welfare, work towards women empowerment, and help those people who need the most. Give some donations to the best of your capacity, to the best of your capability, because your 6-12 axis is going to be pretty active during this time. It's going to keep you very busy. Next few months, you're going to be on your toes, but this is for greater good. Eventually, you will rise off this situation. From a spiritual point of view, this is a very excellent time. This is a time for you to go for spiritual growth, sadhana, any prayers, meditation, worship Goddess Lakshmi. Use a simple mantra, Om Lakshmi Nama, and to get peace, prosperity in your life, read Shri Suktam on a daily basis. You can start Shri Suktam on any Friday, and then eventually you can read Shri Suktam on a daily basis. This will be highly beneficial for you, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Scorpio ascendants. For Scorpio ascendants, Venus is your 7th and the 12th lord, and now making a transit in your 5th house in its exalted sign of Pisces. So for all relationship matters, Venus plays a very important role for Scorpio ascendants. You naturally have a relationship karma. I have seen a lot of Scorpio ascendants being very dependent on their partners, spouses, when it comes to financial matters. It's not that they don't earn or don't have the capacity to earn. Even if they would be earning tons of wealth, they would somehow at some point in time would want their partner to manage all the financial matters or all the wealth related matters. So this is something which I have seen in my research. It's your 7th lord of marriage, relationship, partnership, harmony. This is the Jaya Bhava. We see peace and also war from this house. All those people who are opposite to you, your 12th lord of losses, expenditure, your higher self-consciousness. This is seen from the 12th house, your house of sleep or bed comforts. Spirituality or moksha is also seen from the 12th house. This Venus is making a transit in the 5th house of mantras, your future, progress. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas. We see love, unconditional love is seen from the 5th house because this house represents children. So if it is about children, it is about future, it is about unconditional love. Mantras, whether it will play an important role, whether this will work for you or not, depends on Venus. Now this time around, it's an important time period for you because Venus is in the Parivartana with your 5th lord, Jupiter. Okay, and it's a very powerful Parivartana yoga that they're having. So this time period is equal to Jupiter being in the sign of Pisces in your 5th house. So any mantras that you would use over the next few weeks are definitely going to give you good results, are definitely going to work well for you. So you could use a simple Shiva mantra. This could be Om Namo Bhagavate Sada Shivaya, or you could use a Guru mantra, that is Om Guruve Nama, to gain the most from this transit. Your 7th lord is making a transit in the 5th house, which is a natural yoga in transit. Your spouse is likely to have some financial gain, financial benefit during this time. But this time period could also bring in a little bit uncertainty momentarily. So you have to be patient, you have to practice resilience, because this could make you go for some very bad decisions. So you have to be very careful of your decision making. You need to ensure that your decisions are driven by ethics, because 5th house is also the house of corruption. So with power comes corruption. That is something which it encourages. So you have to be very careful for the next few weeks and don't end up making a bad decision. Think twice before deciding. This Venus is aspecting your 11th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires you to gain. Venus desires you to resolve conflicts with your friends and expand your social network, expand your influence, and try to influence other people. You're also likely to spend on luxuries, spend on comforts, and some purchase of equipments in your house, some machines that could help you reduce some manual effort. So this is something which you also have to be mindful of around this time. Mantras are going to work for you. So remember, the remedy for you is Jupiter. He is who will protect you, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Sagittarius ascendants and what's happening with Sagittarius as far as Venus is transit in an exalted state of Pisces. Venus is entering Pisces on 28th of January and it is going to stay there till the end of May. It's a long transit of Venus that we need to maximize. And during this time, Venus is also in a Parivartana Yoga or an exchange with your Lagna Lord, Jupiter. Though Venus is not the most benefic, it is a potent malefic planet for all Jupiter ruled signs, and vice versa. For all the Venusian signs, Jupiter becomes a potent malefic. This is your 6th lord and the 11th lord. 6th lord of your daily routines, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your debts, your diseases. Health and well-being is to be seen from the 6th house. Competition, enemies, those people who are in opposition are seen from the 6th house. This is also your 11th lord of gains, your wider social network. We also see enemies or opposition from the 11th house because this is 6 from the 6th house. This Venus is making an exceptional transit in your 4th house. Venus in the 4th house is said to be attaining directional strength or is Digbali during this time. So this is an excellent time because you have blessings of the Devi, blessings of Ma Lakshmi during this time and Digpala Devata. So this is one opportunity for you. Venus does very well in the 4th house because it's in great dignity. It's gaining further additional strength because it's an exalted sign, and furthermore it's directional strength. Venus is aspecting your 10th house. So your 4-10 axis is pretty active. Your 6th lord and the 11th lord making a transit in the 4th house of your safe space, your home, your comforts, mother, homeland. This is the house where you feel most protected, and your 4 and 10 axis is going to be pretty active. So you are likely to take some major decisions related to your home, either home renovation, buying and selling of land, real estate, vehicles, assets. So this is a very good time for you to build assets, something that you've been looking forward to in case you were to take a loan or a mortgage for a house. This could be a favorable time for you in case your Dasha Antardasha is being supported. Since your 4 and 10 axis is involved, so workplace decisions are also inevitable. You're going to have a number of planets making a transit in your 4th house and aspecting your 10th house. Venus is one of them. Venus desires you to focus a lot and improve your interpersonal skills, your relationship building skills at your workplace. So your transactions, your operational requirement is to build relationship. This needs to be the end outcome of any project, any work that you undergo. So if you build credible relationships, you can take favors from those people. These people will be supportive to you, to work with you, and this could include your clients, your co-workers, your colleagues, your supervisors, your subordinates, everyone around you. So a 360-degree view, and this will help you become more self-aware, and this could help you transition to a bigger and a better or a greater role. This time period you have to very much be focused on solving your personal life, because there could be a constant amount of stress that could increase because you would need to step out of your comfort zone. You would likely to do something which is very different, something which is very new, which might put you in an uncomfortable position. So you have to practice mindfulness, yoga, sadhana. Any form of meditation will be very helpful for you. Otherwise, this could cause constant degree of stress that could then become concerning from a health point of view. So health is something which you have to take care of and you need to prioritize over the next few weeks. Otherwise, you could have some minor issues here. Look up to your Lagna Lord Jupiter. Do remedies related to Jupiter, whether it is prayers, mantras, or anything that you were to consume or eat that should be related to Jupiter, and look up to him and you will be protected, and I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Capricorn Ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn Ascendants. Venus is transit in the sign of Pisces, where Venus is going exalted for the next few months. Venus is a Yoga Karaka planet for you, or one of the most favorable planets. So its transit always plays a very important role in shaping your life. It's your 5th lord and your 10th lord. So all matters pertaining to your future, pertaining to your children, pertaining to your work, your karma, your actions in society, Venus plays a very important role. Being the 5th lord, it rules mantras, your future, children, unconditional love. We also see corruption from the 5th house. We see progress from the 5th house. It rules your 10th house, your karmas, your actions in the society, your work, what kind of job you do, what kind of profession you have, and how you survive, sustain yourself in this world. What are the kind of karmas that you need to fulfill in this world? This Venus is making a transit in your 3rd house of change, communication, valor, courage. We see co-borns or siblings, and particularly younger siblings from the 3rd house. This house represents change of all kinds. It is the first Upachaya Bhavas, So it is very important for growth related matters. Venus does give mixed results in the third house. So firstly, it will help you navigate any change pertaining to your future, pertaining to your workplace, pertaining to your job. But Venus is also a very lustful planet. See, it is lustful, but it's classy. So this could increase your desires, because third house is also the house of desires. It is the natural kama bhava. It is the natural house of lust. So make sure that you take control of your desires during this time and you channelize those desires. Otherwise, your relationship could be impacted during this time. So there is definitely a relationship karma that is coming your way in the next few weeks that you have to solve for. Workplace related situation is going to improve. Your financial situation is going to improve. You will see a rise in your income. You could see a change in your job, your profession, your work, because your 10th lord is making a transit in the third house. So this does trigger change. Maybe you need to do things differently. You need to be more creative in your approach while applying for your job. Maybe you need to relook at your resume or your CV, and you need to be very creative in your answers, in your discussions, in your writing, in your communication. So how you express yourself verbally in a written format. Use a lot of audio visuals. Try to bring in as much creativity as you can in anything that you do if you were to excel, if you were to grow, and if you were to get a good job. This Venus is aspecting your 9th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So you need to learn, go for higher education. This is what Venus desires during this time. And those kind of things or skills that can help you excel at your workplace. Your 3-9 axis is pretty active. So this does trigger change of new events, and of course bringing in new events and triggering that change. You could go on a journey, long distance journey, or you could have some good travel opportunities during this time. Venus is the natural significator of air travel, and you must take a spiritual retreat or go on a spiritual journey. Any shrine, any temple, any place of worship based on your belief system, based on your dharma, you must visit, because Venus is aspecting your 9th house of dharma. A number of planets will be aspecting your 9th house of dharma over the next few weeks. In case you have any problem, any doubt, any confusion, or you get stuck, please reach out to take advice of your trusted partner or your guru, your mentor, your father, or some father figure, or take some professional help in case you get stuck. Matters pertaining to your finances, pertaining to your work, job, get some coaching, get some advice. That is not going to harm you around this time. Remember, Venus is in the Parivartana Yoga with Jupiter. So you need to reach out to someone who is learned to help you navigate through this time. And I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Aquarius Ascendants and what's happening with Aquarius Ascendants. Venus is transit in the sign of Pisces, where it gets exalted. It's in the most delightful state, and that is the scenario for the next few months. We should be very excited for this transit. I am very excited personally. For Aquarius, Venus is a Yoga Karaka, or the most favorable planet. So its transit plays a very important role for Aquarius Ascendants. It's your 4th lord and the 9th lord. So it rules one quadrant house, Kendra house, and one trinal or the Trikon house. So it's the 4th lord of your mother, your homeland, your comfort space, your happy space, where you feel most protected, where you feel most safe. This is your home. And it also rules your 9th house of father, of guru, dharma, your bhagya. Venus is your bhagyesha. So Venus for Aquarius Ascendant plays a very important role because it represents your mother and your father as well. So there is definitely natural karma towards parents that Aquarius Ascendants have always throughout their life. So Venus is your bhagyesha. It's very important. It's making a transit in your 2nd house. 9th lord and 4th lord making a transit in your 2nd house is a very powerful dhan yoga, wealth yoga in transit. But for that, you have to put in some efforts. If you were to obtain wealth, you can't sit and wealth will not come to you. You have to step out of your comfort zone. This is the time for you to step out of your comfort zone and create a secondary source of income. If not a primary source of income, this is a very powerful dhan yoga. There's going to be a lot of financial decisions, a lot of good financial management that will come over the next few weeks. There's also definitely some relationship karma, because Venus from a relationship point of view doesn't do very well in the 2nd house. So this is where a little bit more focus on family related matters. Of course, your finances needs to be managed during this time, but you have to focus a lot on family related matters. This Venus could bring in some change in your eating habits, some change in your dietary requirements. You are likely to undergo transformation. You're also likely to experiment with food, with new food items. So avoid any kind of overindulgence, avoid any kind of extravagance. Otherwise, there could be some minor health repercussions around this time. There is a very powerful Dhan Yoga. You must make the most of this transit in case you're looking forward to getting an increment, a rise in income, some sort of financial gain. This could be a favorable time. Make sure that you take advice of your mother, take advice of your father during this time, both of them. This could be absolutely beneficial for you. This Venus is aspecting your 8th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires transformation. Venus desires you to take your lifestyle and try to evolve, try to transform that for your good. So you're likely to undergo a very good personality development, personnel development. So this is something which you will be doing. You'll be very conscious of what you wear, what you say, and of course how you present yourself in front of others. This will give you a sense of fulfillment. So you are going to transform for good. This transformation or change could be sudden as well. Maybe situation puts you in a way that now you have to take this decision, you have to think through and decide and do that very quickly. So be prepared for such scenarios, such situations wherein you will not have a lot of time to decide. And during this time, you have to make the correct decision as well. So you have to be very much to the point, and at the same time, you have to be very much aware of the situation and circumstances. So in case there is something happening around your life, start thinking about it now and having a plan for yourself. This is absolutely most important. Worship Goddess Lakshmi. Read Shri Suktam on a daily basis. This is going to be extremely beneficial and extremely helpful for you, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Pisces ascendants and what's happening with Pisces ascendants as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Pisces is concerned. So please welcome Venus, Shukradev in your ascendant, in your Lagna. This is an opportunity that you get once in a year. But when Venus staying for a longer period of time is a kind of opportunity that you will get once in a few years. This Venus will also go retrograde. So there's a lot of pending karma that it is bringing in your ascendant. So this time period, you will see making some vital decisions pertaining to your life, pertaining to your future, and of course everything that is revolving around you. Venus is your 3rd lord and the 8th lord. It is a potent malefic for Pisces ascendants. It rules your valor, courage, change, communication, co-bonds or your siblings, which is the 3rd house matters. Okay, your right hand and what you do using your hands, using your arms. Venus is also your 8th lord of longevity, transformation, occult, those people, those places that are hidden, your secret desires, your hidden space. This Venus is making a transit in your 1st house. Venus is coming in your Lagna, in your ascendant, and this is involved in a Parivartana yoga with your ascendant lord, with your Lagna lord, Jupiter. So Guru is someone you have to look up to. Any remedy that you must do during this time is related to Jupiter, because this Venus will behave as if it's Jupiter sitting in your ascendant. It is showering a lot of wisdom. It is also helping you to evolve your personality. So your personality is likely to undergo change. Lot of transformation is coming in your 1st house. So you have to transform, you have to change. But make sure that you take some small steps towards this big change to help you navigate through these times. So you will be very focused on building your personality around this time. So focus a lot on self-grooming, on presenting yourself in front of others, what you do, how you say, how you present yourself. And of course, you'll be very conscious of what you wear, what you carry. And of course, it's always good to do that, because this will help you be prepared for the situation, and at the same time take some corrective steps that could be in the best of your interest. Your 3rd lord coming in the ascendant, change is inevitable because this is what Venus rules. So there is change coming in your life. This change could be related to your personality, most importantly, and some of the major decisions that you could take. This change is also related to your job, related to your work and what you do, because Jupiter is involved in Parivartana yoga here, and Jupiter also rules your 10th house. So workplace related change is inevitable. You could get a new assignment, new project, a travel opportunity. Initially, it could be a little bit challenging, maybe something new that you have done, but this will help you learn. This will help you open doors for huge potential or opportunities that are there for you in the future. This Venus is aspecting your 7th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So there is definitely relationship karma there. Venus wants you to focus a lot on your existing relationship, those people who are opposite to you, your partnership. In case you're married, make sure that you take advice of your partner. Make sure that you reach out to them when you need, and at the same time strengthen this relationship. There are going to be a number of planets in your ascendant over the next few weeks, making an aspect to your 7th house. So dealing with yourself and your relationship, there definitely is going to be some conflicting situation, some karma that is there, some decisions that you would need to take for yourself and your spouse or your relationship. But whether this will be good for you or not would depend on your ongoing dasha antardasha and the kind of repercussions which it will have. But you have to be prepared for this time. Okay, at least a number of planets in your ascendant would help you make some good decisions pertaining to your life, pertaining to your work, your business, and opportunities for future. So this is what will also help you become more self-aware. So you need to focus on your own strengths and how you can build on your strengths. Look up to Jupiter, use mantra related to Jupiter, worship Guru, and use a simple mantra, that is Om Guruve Namah, or worship Lord Shiva. You will be blessed during this transit, and it will help you sail through any of the negative effects or perceived negative effects as well. And I wish you the very best. Please welcome Shukra in your Lagna. So friends, this was about Venus's most exciting transit in the sign of Pisces, where it is exalted and it is going to stay there for the next few months. These are exciting times. I hope and believe Venus helps us become more devoted towards the Almighty, helps us channelize our devotion, and at the same time take care of ourselves and help others, those who need us the most. Thank you very much. God bless you all.